In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Iron Banner Sniper Bite of the Fox. Yo, what's going on, you guys? This is Mike or Geekermon. Welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. So this week, with the return of Iron Banner, Lord Saladin has brought back the chance to get one of the best high-impact snipers in the game. And the best part is that the curated role only requires level 4. This means that in less than an hour of playing Iron Banner, you can get your hands on a pretty good role of the Bite of the Fox. But what are the best roles? What are the ones you should be grinding for? Today, we are going to jump into that and so much more. So buckle up, don't forget to smack that subscribe button, and let's jump right into it. So the Bite of the Fox is an aggressive frame snipe. This puts it in the same category as Revoker, Silicon Neuroma, Succession, the Volta Bracket from Neomuna, the Occluded Finality, and one of my favorites in the game, the Frozen Orbit. Now, the Bite of the Fox was originally added when Forsaken dropped. At one point during Season of Arrivals, it was reprised, and now they have brought it all the way up to Season of Defiance. With a low RPM of 72 and a high base impact of 90, the high impact snipers are some of the best guns to get the body shot cleanups. If your opponent has taken any damage, aggressive frame snipers can easily be the cleanup weapon you need. Another big pro is that the sniper falls into the primary slot, which frees you up to use any number of exotics or legendaries in that second slot. Now, before we jump into perks, I want to hit on one of the biggest cons to the Bite of the Fox, and that is that without the right perks in the second slot, the magazine size standard's at 3. For some people, this is a deal breaker, as they're going for 4, 5, or even 6 in the mag on some of those lower impact snipers that still result in a one-shot headshot. But again, like I said, a lot of times with the high impact, you don't even need to hit the headshot to get the kill. So what you lose in magazine size, you make up for in damage. Destiny 2 also offers so many options, from hunter dodge to exotic, to allow you to increase both your reloads or get your ammo back immediately. All right, so before we jump into the perks that you should be using for this gun, let's talk about the curated role Saladin brought this week. In the first slot, we have 2 great options: Arrowhead Break and Chambered Compensator. Personally, between these two, I would pick Arrowhead Break just for the boost in handling. The second slot, we've got Extended Mag and Steady Rounds. If magazine size is an issue for you, especially if you're not running the Dodge Hunter, I would recommend going Extended Mag because it'll give you 4 in the magazine. Now, the other 2 perks are Rapid Hit. Rapid precision hits temporarily increase stability and reload speed, and Iron Gaze massively improves weapon target acquisition at the cost of weapon range. So this is going to drop you 30 range, but give you plus 20 when it comes to aim assist. If you hit the headshot at any range with the Bite of the Fox, it will be a one-shot kill, barring extremely high health enemies like supers and some of the tankier boys in PvE. The other great thing is that the Masterwork is range, which kind of makes up for the Iron Gaze. So if you don't have a good role for Bite of the Fox, the curated role is a strong place to start. But that's not what you're here for. You want to know what is the very best role I can get on the Bite of the Fox. And as a crispy sniper myself, I respect this attitude. That is why we are going to talk through all the perks here, and I'm going to give you a rundown on exactly what you should be grinding for, with the goal in mind being that 5 out of 5 god roll for this weapon. All right, so we're going to start out with the barrel. The good news for you, the curated role is something I would consider an S tier barrel. There's only 2 for the Bite of the Fox: Arrowhead Break and Fluted Barrel. We talked about Arrowhead Break already, but the reason for choosing Fluted Barrel, high impact snipers can a lot of times feel more sluggish than some of the other snipers in the game. Fluted Barrel gives you a plus 15 to handling, which can make even the heaviest of snipers feel much more snappy, and for a lot of people, the feel of the sniper can be make or break. Down in the A tier for the barrel, we have Chambered Compensator. This gives you a boost to stability and recoil. The downside is that it does decrease your handling a little bit if you're not bothered by the heavier feeling sniper, and by all means, this is one of the best barrels in the game. Another A tier barrel is Corkscrew Rifling. The way that I would describe Corkscrew Rifling is it is a flatline increase of most of the stats of the weapon. You get plus 5 stability, you get plus 5 range, you get plus 5 handling. Instead of a massive increase to 1 perk, Corkscrew Rifling gives you a slight increase to 3 separate perks. Now, down in the B tier, we have Hammer Forged Rifling and Polygonal Rifling. With a high impact sniper, these barrels don't really help or hurt the gun. For those of you curious, Hammer Forged Rifling gives you that plus 10 to range, and Polygonal Rifling gives you plus 10 to stability. And while both of those are great, that's nothing compared to plus 30 on recoil and plus 10 on handling that you get with something like an S tier Arrowhead Break. Now, down in the C tier for barrels, we have Small Bore, Extended Barrel, and Full Bore. Small Bore gives you a slight increase to both range and stability, but it's completely outclassed by some of the other barrels in the game. Extended Barrel and Full Bore, to me, are 2 I would avoid on the high impact snipe. Both of these decrease your handling and don't really provide any upside potential to compensate for it. All right, so up next, we have the magazine. When it comes to S tier for the magazine for Bite of the Fox, Extended Mag has to be number 1. Like we talked about, magazine size is an issue for these high impact snipers, and not only does Extended Mag add 1 to the magazine, it also gives you a plus 10 boost to your airborne effectiveness. A little secret tidbit of info I did not know about Extended Mag. Another S tier perk that increases magazine size is Tactical Mag. It also gives you plus 10 reload speed and plus 5 stability. So between those 2, you really need to decide if reload speed is an important factor for you, or if you found another way to mitigate it, either through exotics, class abilities, or things like that. In the A tier options, we have Steady Rounds and Accurized Rounds. Steady Rounds also gives you a boost to airborne effectiveness, but also plus 15 to stability stability. You do get a -5 on range, but like we talked about, that can be easily mitigated by a range masterwork or specific perks on this gun. Accurized rounds just gives you a +10 to range, and while range no longer correlates directly to more aim assist, there are ties between the range stat and aim assist at range. Now, in the B tier, we have flared magwell and appended mag. Appended mag is fine, as we talked about. It gives you +1 on the magazine size, which is huge for the snipers. The downside is that both of the other options that increase the magazine size also give you more. So this is really the baseline if you have nothing else and magazine size matters. Flared magwell is good. It gives you +15 reload speed and +5 stability. There just are a lot of better options out there when it comes to the magazine. And then down in the C tier, we have alloy magazine, faster reload when the magazine is empty. There is not really a practical use for this in PvE or in PvP. In PvP, most of the time when your magazine runs out, it's not often you have another mag to just reload in. You could find benefit if you don't have any ammo and you pick some up off the ground, getting some faster reload speed before engaging in that first snipe, but it seems like in both PvE and PvP, there are better options out there. All right, so for perk number 1, we're gonna split it into 2 sides, PvE and PvP. In PvE, for me, the S tier perk is Envious Assassin. Rapidly defeating targets with other weapons before drawing this one transfers ammo to the magazine from reserve. This effect can overflow the mag based on the number of targets defeated. So what does this mean? When bringing the weapon out within 10 seconds of getting kills with other guns, both primary or heavy, it will overflow the magazine from reserves based on the amount of kills you got with those other guns. Overflow will max out at half of your full magazine size. So for a sniper like this with extended mag, you can get kills with your primary weapon and you will automatically get 2 bullets put back into your magazine of your sniper. This perk is definitely a more PvE focused perk. You will not find use for this in PvP. So consider that when trying to figure out what role to grind for. When it comes to PvP, there's one perk that has always thrived and it probably always will, and that is Snapshot. Snapshot gives you 25% decreased ADS time. This means when you're going head to head in a 1v1 fight, you will be that much faster to get your reticle on target and trying to get that kill. Snapshot overall improves the quality of any sniper it's put on. And if you have a Snapshot sniper, hold on to it dearly. Faster time to aim down sights means more time to focus your aim, which means more gunfights won in the Crucible. And that is why Snapshot is an S tier perk. Now, when it comes to A tier perks, there's really only one. It's a little bit more PvE focused, and that is No Distractions. You could use it in PvP, but you have to slow your playstyle down in order to feel the benefit. Essentially, when you aim down sights on this weapon, after 1 second passes, you get a huge 35% flinch reduction. I really enjoy No Distractions in PvE. A lot of times in PvP, 1 full second is too long to be aimed down the sight of my gun. I end up getting flanked, playing campy. It just doesn't provide the value added to the sniper that you see out of something like Snapshot. Now, dropping down to the B tier, we have Firmly Planted. Firmly Planted can be practical, but you have to be aware you have it on and kind of play to the style. While crouched, you get a boost to handling and stability, a smaller accuracy cone, and a massive decrease to your horizontal recoil. This can be a solid perk, and I know some people really preach about Firmly Planted. While the accuracy cone decrease is great, with a sniper, recoil, stability, some of these other things it provides are just not of that much value. And now down to the C tier perk, Slick Draw. This perk significantly increases handling, significantly decreases target acquisition. Just trust me on this, while handling is great, you do not want a decrease in your target acquisition. This will make the gun less reliable, and in my opinion, this perk is almost a nerf to the weapon. Though if you can, I would try to avoid it. All right, so now let's talk about perk column 2. In the S tier, I have 2 perks, Opening Shot and Moving Target. Both of these pair extremely well with the Snapshot. And if you have the S tier for both, you are likely sitting with a pretty good sniper rifle. Opening Shot means on the first bullet of your magazine, you get 20 more aim assist, 25 more range, and a smaller accuracy cone. The good thing is with snipers, almost every shot is an opening shot unless you're spam firing. So you really feel the value of this perk. Moving Target, on the other hand, is increased movement speed and target acquisition when aiming down sights. Not only does this allow for a little bit better strafing while fighting, but it also gives you a boost to aim assist. Now, the effects are only felt while you're aimed down sights, which is why it pairs so beautifully with the Snapshot perk. All right, now dropping down to the A tier, we have Iron Gaze. Like we talked about, it really improves target acquisition with a huge hit to range. In the B tier, we have Explosive Payload. Projectiles create an AoE detonation when they impact. So in PvE, this splits the damage in half. 50% base, 50% explosive, and that explosive gets a 30% damage buff. Quick math, this correlates to a 15% damage buff in PvE, and that can be more on the headshots depending depending on what the precision multiplier is. In PvP, I would not recommend explosive payload. The total damage numbers that you see remain the same. The other B tier perk is Vorpal Weapon. In PvE, this means you'll do more damage against mini-bosses, bosses, and vehicles. In PvP, this means you'll do more damage against super. So while a super shutdown can be so satisfying, it's not the most practical for a lot of the game modes in PvP, especially considering people only have their super once or twice a match. For that reason, Vorpal is down in the B tier. And last in the C tier for the sniper rifle is Under Over, deals bonus damage to targets with overshield. This is a 20% buff and 10% across PvE combatant shields as a whole. It's a fine perk, but a lot of times you'll want this on a primary weapon and not on your sniper rifle. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the origin trait Skulking Wolf. While at low health, Guardian Final Blows with this weapon grant enhanced radar and remove you from opposing radar. When you're below 63 health, a kill will grant you an enhanced radar and remove you from passively appearing on the opposing radar for 10 seconds. This perk is huge, especially if you like to play aggressively. If you lose health but manage to win the 1v1, Skulking Wolf will proc, and you can spend the next 10 seconds healing, flanking, getting into position, and getting a leg up on the opponent. This origin trait for Iron Banner is one of the more unique origin traits in the game. I personally am a huge fan, and I do think you see a huge value add for this in PvP. I don't think this perk does anything in PvE for those of you that are curious, but you don't necessarily need to be off the radar of a Cabal for 10 seconds. So that is the Bite of the Fox in a nutshell. Talking about Masterworks real quick, if I had to rank them, I would go range, handling, stability, and reload speed last. So that's the Bite of the Fox in a nutshell. Real quick, I wanted to hit on a couple of shaders that I think really make this weapon shine. One is the Iron Banner shader Vintage Timber. Gives it a very precursor Vex Chrome look, super sick. Another good one is Rusted Coin. If you like the Tiger Stripes look and the dark green Iron Banner feel, this is a solid option as well. And some people love the solid white options. Brightens up kind of a dark weapon. And one of my favorites for that is the Circadian Chill. Makes the base of the gun black and all of the outside and the accessories are solid white. So with that, that is it. Everything you need to know about the Bite of the Fox. Let me know down in the comment section what role you're grinding for and if you're enjoying this return of Iron Banner. I hope to see you guys out there. Thank you for all the love on the videos. Don't forget, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you learned something, and I will be bringing you guys more Lightfall videos soon. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.